Hi guys, this is Jess from Lustrous Plans, and I thought since our little pocket of the community, the planner community that is, has been talking about like trends, journaling, where we're at as a community, like trying to figure out what kind of planners we're going to be using next year. I thought it would be a little fun to go through some of my old journals and planners. To take you through the evolution that I've been on or part of, whatever. So I think I started, I've been like journaling and um, making like junk journals for over a decade now. Like this is from college, so like 2012. Um, but I've been doing some form of like playing with stickers for most of my life, honestly. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stop rambling here and start in chronological order and take you through it. Okay, I apologize in advance if this is a super chatty, rambly video. I'm still undecided about what kind of planner I'm gonna be in next year because I've been all over the place, as y'all know. So I think talking this out might help me narrow down like what really works for me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I've been memory planning, which entails like an A5 wide planner and sticker kits, like weekly sticker kits. I've been doing that for 4 years now. I think since 2020, but it's a lot of fun. I really love doing it. It's just becoming too much of a time commitment for me, um, especially because I end up doing stuff like this. Like I get a little too extra in decorating it. And then when it comes to doing the day by day stuff, like I don't care as much about documenting that as I do like just the creative pursuit of putting the stickers down in a fun, creative way. Like, do I really need to know that on February 2nd it was rainy AF? I guess, but I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to um, articulate exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, I really enjoy making these spreads, but I think I also get that creative fulfillment out of creating journaling spreads. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Trying to decide if it's worth doing all this going forward. But it's also tough because I have a ton of sticker kits that are designed for that kind of planner. So I obviously don't want those to go to waste. And again, I do enjoy doing those kind of spreads. So um, I think it's just going to be about finding a balance, which I think a lot of us are kind of getting to that point. So hopefully we can all find planner peace together. But I'm just going to do a quick like flip through, not of all the pages. Okay, so this is probably my oldest like art journal that I've actually finished. I started this in when I started college in 2012. So I started collecting like ephemera from around town. This is from like an art magazine, stickers. I went to UGA. So just stickers I collected, little poems I wanted to write, and I like drew and painted this. So that's kind of where I started out, making like multimedia type stuff. This is literally like string. And I've always enjoyed making things like this, like little journaling spreads, and Kelby drew that, the hungry caterpillar. Yeah, so like I got a lot of fulfillment out of doing this kind of journaling. And I think planning is kind of an offshoot of that, or a progression, I guess. Look at all these old movie tickets. Yeah, so oh, and concert tickets. I really enjoyed like finding a way to incorporate my ephemera bits because I've always been kind of a pack rat with like things that I want to keep to remember like years later, like all of these cheesy bands that I listened to back in the day. I've always loved keeping like the physical bits, which is pretty much the definition of ephemera. But I wanted to incorporate them into journal spreads like this so that I could actually like go back and look through them instead of just putting them in a box and never looking at them again. Because I also have a lot of boxes like that that are just tucked away, and sometimes I go through them, but that was the goal behind creating this kind of thing. And like I said before, it feels like I'm kind of getting back to that. So it's really interesting to see how cycles repeat themselves and all that jazz. But yeah, so this is my oldest like official creative journal, I would say. So that's like 2015 through 2012 through probably 2018, because I did a little bit after college too. So next up, this was probably my first foray into the planner community. This is a happy planner from way back when, I think from 2017. That's when I started working at Michael's, and just as a part-time gig because I loved like creative stuff, and I thought it would be fun to work somewhere where I could work somewhere where I could spend my entire paycheck. So that's what I did for a while. But this is when I started really like writing down what I did day to day because I wanted to remember stuff. And I think this is around when my mom started getting into planning, or at least like bullet journaling side of things. So I used it more like a journal, and just like wrote down, random stuff that was going on in my life. But I also made these like decorative spreads and stuff. One thing I really struggle with is keeping up with and staying consistent with these kind of things. So as you can see, about halfway through the year, I stopped writing in it. And I think in this case, it coincided with my grandfather's passing. So I just kind of like stopped doing creative stuff for a while because I was sad. But I have always had like spurts of creativity and then like periods of just not doing anything. I think this is the most consistent I've been like the past couple of years in actually like doing stuff every day or every week for my creative hobbies. So I'm proud of myself for that. Yeah, another little ephemera bit. But yeah, this is old school planning for me. And then from there, I evolved into straight up bullet journaling. So I was finding that I liked being able to like write down what I was doing, like I did here, but I felt constrained by just that little box. So I thought it would be fun to just like make my own freeform spreads for journaling. I say journaling, but it's more just like writing down what I did. I wasn't getting like too deep into like what was going on in my life. But this planner was from 2017 to 2018, and obviously I fell off and didn't do it. So in 2019, I decided to kind of get back into it. So I set up this like I spent a lot of time on Pinterest trying to figure out like how bullet journaling works, how you're supposed to set it up for your year versus your month versus your week. And I've never really done like the traditional like bullet journaling where you actually track things and move things to the following week if you don't do them, all that jazz. It's always been more of just a creative like structure for my purposes. So I started this on my bill tracking savings tracker, which I did not get very far. I had a lofty goal of 2,000, but I really enjoyed this more freeform, like you create whatever you want on your page and you can come back to it at any point in the year and fill it in. So I had this books to read like tracker, and then I would color them in when I read them. So I obviously didn't get to these. And then a mood tracker for the whole year. Again, it's clear that I fell off the track in May, it looks like, for this journal. So something I'm struggling to, I mean, it's obviously a trend that I struggle to stay consistent. Even with my current journal, the Leela journals that I've been sharing, I often forget to check in every day. So it's become more of a like every few days I back plan what I did and like the highlights for the last few days. So working on it becoming a habit, but I'm still not quite there. But it's been a journey for sure. So I started setting up like, this is actually very similar to my current setup where I have like the month in a decorative format and then like an overview with like holidays and important events and stuff. But in this case, I was drawing everything and using mild liners to color them in. I kept a sleep log and a work log, which is pretty fun. I might do that again. Just because, I want to fill up more pages in my journal. I feel like I'm only using like 6 pages or so per month, but it is nice to like have a thicker stack with a theme, because now that we have like decorative stickers and stuff, like or decorative sticker kits that have so many different things, I want to be able to like stretch that more, because I still end up with leftovers, and obviously that's not ideal. So I did a favorites page. I might blur out some of this. I don't know. It's nothing too personal. My favorite person was my wife, so there you go. But I really enjoyed doing this. I just, again, it became too much to keep up with. But this was in 2019 when I like was just doing more and wasn't making it like a habit to sit down and actually like plan stuff out. I think memory planning has given me a lot more structure for that kind of stuff. So I think if I were to get back to doing this kind of thing, I would probably be more successful at it than I used to be, just because it's become more of a priority in my life. I really like how this page turned out. The inspiration was this washi, and I just made like a self-care spread around it. Yeah, so this is my, okay, so this January, I think I started this bullet journal closer to February. So for January, I just kind of like did overview stuff. But then once February started, I wanted to actually like write down what was going on in my day by day. So we started doing weekly spreads. It's just so funny, like how full circle everything comes, because this is pretty much exactly what I want to get back to doing. But I like forgot that I used to do this, to be honest. So I would do like daily little blurbs, but also I would keep a habit tracker for the week, and it evolved over time. But I really like the vibe of this. Like, it just makes, if you're able to like set up your whole month at once, then all you have to do is just use it. So that's kind of what I do in my daily planner. I'll cover this up because this is personal. So every single week I set up, this is a B6 rings by Sadie's Stickers. I set up like a kind of like half-assed spread using old or leftover stickers. So this is like a super old Pretty Pink Co kit from like years ago. And I write down just like everything I did in a day. And this is what I refer to when I'm doing my memory planning. So Like it goes all the way through the year. But uh, that's what I use now. But I feel like that's just an evolution of this kind of. So what I was saying is, if you set up your whole week or if you set up your whole month and then just write in stuff every day, like it's pretty straightforward and not that difficult. I say that now, but it does take effort. So, yeah, these are just some of my thoughts with, you know, like what I want to focus on going forward, because I just don't think my current method of like just memory planning and then now adding this journal in is sustainable. I'm still in April in my memory planner, so that means I'm almost 6 months behind, which is my kind of perpetual state. So I want to make things easier for me, and obviously I don't want to leave this community because this is like my hobby, my number one hobby. So I'm just trying to find what works best for me so that I can feel better about it, or so that I can, like feasibly do it and still have time for other things. Especially as a shop owner, I end up feeling guilty when I sit down and plan sometimes because I do have a lot to do at work. And so it's just like finding that balance of making time for myself to do this hobby that I love, but also not taking too much time. Here is where I started doing more pop-up stuff. I just used a Post-it note, and then a lot of paper that's in here is from like Michael's paper books, like the craft paper that they sell. But this was the beginning of my pop-up phase. Yeah, so I hope this video is helping kind of explain my thought process, because I know it's all over the place. I apologize, but I just like, I really want to find a happy medium for me. Like, I feel like Goldilocks just looking for that perfect porridge, but whatever. Here's a Dutch door, which I forgot I had done. It's pretty fun. Yeah, so here's the last few spreads I did before I gave up. uh, who knows why I fell off this time, but it is what it is. I also loved like actually finding a use for a lot of my stickers, because I know I'm not the only one in this community who hoards stickers for fear of committing and putting them down on something. But this was an accomplishment for me. So from there, so that lasted halfway through 2019. From there, my mom was definitely more, I say my mom, but Suzanne Plans, if you don't know, she's the one who kind of like nudged me into this side of the community. She was doing a lot of memory planning at this point and using sticker kits. And so she would send me some and like tell me about sales, and like I kind of like dipped my toe in. At this point, I think it was 2020, so right in when the world was at its lowest, but like the planner community was almost at its peak, I would say, in like 2020 and 2021, because everybody was just stuck inside, so we were all like actively planning. But at that point I was working at Target as a visual merchandising manager, and so I partially used this to track stuff at work, but also just to like vent because work was crazy a lot. Another rough day at work. Yeah, so it started out as kind of like a journal. I was using this B6 traveler's notebook from the 1407 planners. I don't even know if they're still around, but this is how I started dabbling with sticker kits. So we have some really old, like Simply Water Co. Wow, I'm realizing this is kind of like giving Fireflies vibes. That's fun. Again, full circle. Oh, Planning World. Yeah, so I started decorative planning in 2020. Um, and I think it's also when I started my planner Instagram, Lustrous Plans. If you're not following me, I think these posts are still up. So if you cared to scroll all the way back, you could see some of these spreads in further detail. But yeah, I think this went through September because this is my birthday week. And I think started in June. So I decided at this point I wanted a bigger size, but I was still like scared to commit to like a rings planner or even a coil planner at that point. So I was getting these notebooks. This one is from Wonton and a Million. And so I spent a while just doing these kind of spreads. Like at this point, these are like full sticker kits, or at least like the traditional sizing that we know and love today. But it was like, you know, you can only get so creative with the stickers we had back in 2020 and 2021. This one was from Sticker Guru, and you can see I use these full box overlays, which are nice and glossy. I'm glad we've moved away from that. But yeah, so this was my 2020, I think, to 2021 phase. Yeah, this one lasted through, I think, January. And then that's when I decided to commit and get a coil planner. So I'll jump to that next. Okay, y'all. I'm just realizing like how much I've already recorded. So thank you if you've stuck with this video. I know I'm all over the place and very rambly, but it's been fun to take a trip down memory lane. So I hope you're enjoying this as well. This is a coil planner from the Sticker Kit Planner. So I think she only did these for a couple of years and then closed her shop, but she made, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I feel like this was one of the first A5 wide formats, at least that I knew of. Like it was a big deal when it came out, and I went for it and made this my planner for 2021. I really should write the years in here. Oh, okay, it says 2021 here. So, yeah, so this is kind of when I first started like really committing to an A5 wide for an entire year. Like this whole year is filled up, which is really satisfying. And she thick. But it's when I started doing like your traditional like decorative planning. So there's actually like deco, and I wasn't writing as much as I used to. Like in this one, it was definitely like actually journaling and writing specifically what I did throughout my day. But this one was more of like picking the highlights and using lots of scripts. This is also when we were thinking of starting our shop. So my mom had made these custom scripts for us with this font that she had found. And yeah, so this is around the time when we were starting to toy with the idea of starting our own shop. But it's kind of fun to see this actually, because it's interesting to put it in the context of that. I remember at the time that I did this spread, I was really proud of it because I hadn't really done monthlies before. I think I just did the January one. And so this was really like an opportunity to get creative and do like larger deco in the spread instead of just like the kit. Because at this point in the community, we didn't really have like journaling kits. So you just had what you had from the 4-page kit, and that was it. And then whatever else you had in your stash. That's lovely. um, yeah, so this is when it was like the first iteration of what I'm doing today, still 3 years later. It's pretty fun to look at. Let me know below if you'd want like a closer, in-depth overview, like flip through of this kind of stuff. Maybe not the older ones, but like I could do flip throughs of my rings planners, which I have for the past 2 years. Yeah, if you're interested, let me know. This week tried me. So I did end up finishing this whole year, but I ended up taking like a month or 2-month break from planning because I broke my leg this week. And so I was in the hospital for a few days and then recovering. And this was actually the first spread that I did when I got back into planning like a month later. But me breaking my leg was kind of like the impetus for us just deciding to go for it and start our shop. So it's cool to see this now because we've come a long way from there. Yeah, so this is my 2021 planner. Oh, I love this spread. This was the oh geez, what was her name? I can't remember. I just remember her shop was like incredibly unique and she offered bold colors. Her name was Gurdev. And I fell in love with this kit. Like I don't even care about designer brands, but the colors got me. So yeah, this is the vibe. Oh, and so 2021 towards the end of the year, I would say is when I started experimenting, as you can see, with like more elaborate spreads. I guess that's one word for it, but this was my birthday week. And this is I think this is a super old Letters to Apollo kit. Yeah. The script says it all. So this is when I started to be like, I could bring in some more, like fun decorative journaling elements. And just have more fun with these kind of spreads. And I never looked back. Like I made this sticker for myself. Yeah, just more dramatic spreads, I guess. So this spread is actually really special because it's one of the first kits I ever made. I think the kit was called Huga. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So this was 2021 era paper trail plans. Let me know in the comments if anyone remembers this kit or used it themselves. I mean, looking back, it's pretty cute. I mean, trends have obviously changed since this era, but she cute. Yeah, okay, so that's 2021. And then I'll wrap the video up by showing you like very quick overview of my rings planners. Okay, I was just talking to Cassie about this actually. So the reason I transitioned from coil to rings was mostly because coils are just a pain in the ass. Like writing on this side of the page with your coil like sticking up is just difficult. So I decided to invest in a rings planner. This one's from Aura Stell, obviously. And they're pretty pricey, but they're also timeless. And you get to decorate the pockets, which is fun. I think I took some of the stuff out and stole it for a more modern setup. But yeah, so I really like fully committed at this point to memory planning. And this year is when we all started doing more intense decorating of the base. So yeah. Oh, here's another early kit from Paper Trail Plans. Super fun. But honestly, I would say like the past 3 years, I've been pretty consistent in my planning style as far as like these kind of memory spreads go. Um, and when I say my style, I mean extra as hell, like doing way too much. Um, oh, I loved how this spread came out, that sidebar. Yeah, so that was 2022 and then 2023. This is also when I started realizing I can't keep up with monthly spreads just because I'm already so behind in my weekly spreads that the monthlies fall by the wayside, which is a bummer because I like seeing the overview of my month, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that is my 2023 planner. This is more modern because really I'm really only 4 months into 2024 as far as like posting goes. Um, so this stuff you will have seen like not too long ago, at least on my Instagram. But yeah, that's my planner evolution. I would love to see other people share theirs. So if you want to tag me or however that works on YouTube, I don't really know. But like share your planner journey with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts and where you're going in the next year. I'm still undecided, so I won't commit to saying anything about my lineup for next year, but it has been fun to reminisce on my old styles and take that into consideration going forward. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane with me. Yeah, I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.